that's the end of your hurrah. You know, I guess what I'm trying to say is this. I don't know, you may have heard this analogy prior. KFC guy, the Colonel, he visited 632 people with his recipe before one person gave him an opportunity to give him money to start his restaurant. Something he believed in, he didn't give up on. He was persistent. All I'm saying is that expect a yes. You may ask 100 people, and they may all say no. And that's okay. But in your mind, you've got to expect a yes if you're going to survive long term. You know, if you're going to sustain an attitude of evangelism, sustain an attitude of Bible studies and doing these things, you've got to prepare your mind that way, positively. Okay, so the next thing, the third C, I guess I'll call it. We've done conviction, we've done contacts, and the only thing that I really found to be super important is caring. Now, people don't care about what you have to say unless they know you care about them. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the love chapter. You guys are familiar with this chapter. It's read at lots of weddings. It's referred to a ton. If I speak with tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I become a noisy gong and a clanging cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy, all mysteries of all knowledge, if I have all faith, even so to remove mountains. If I don't have love, I have nothing. You know, your willingness to extend yourself to people is what will make the difference. Now, you guys have no problem with that. Trust me. I mean, even from an outside perspective, I view and I see lots of individuals who are always willing to extend themselves, cook meals, help visit those who are sick or shut-ins, take people things, call on people who have lost loved ones. That's an easy thing here. Not everywhere, trust me. But also what I'm referring to is that your willingness to extend yourself in different ways. You have an individual you work with. You're asking them, you know, hey, if you're ever interested in having a Bible study, I'd really like an opportunity to teach you some of these things, these concepts. And they say yes, but they live 45 minutes away. Your willingness to extend yourself to drive 45 minutes every week, teach them for an hour or more, and then drive 45 minutes home has to be there. You can't say, okay, well, cool, well, I'll hook you up with somebody that's closer. You know, it doesn't work like that. It's your ability to show them that whatever the cost, time, effort, money, anything, whatever the cost, I'm willing. Because it's that important when I have the time. It's that good. It's going to change you that much. Those attitudes are powerful attitudes. They're things that speak volumes. When you're willing to spend time and money, people pause and watch. Because that's so important to other people. Worldly people, time and money is a very, very important thing. And when we say, we'll set all those things aside, God will provide. That's important. So, you know, I want to encourage you to show that you care and extend yourself. Another thing, too, is that when I say willing to extend yourself to people, I mean in other ways, too. Let's say, for instance, you get this Bible study that you've asked for, and you're teaching them. And, you're going to their house, and you're driving 45 minutes, and you're being consistent, and all those things are functioning. They're learning, they're interested. They begin to come to the assembly with you. You know, and it's all rolling really well. You know, but you're going to sit weeks in houses, and this is my own personal experience, and they have young kids, and there's a kid screaming, running through the room with a plunger on his head, and there's another kid doing something else, and you're going, wow, this is just chaotic. Am I really even being productive? It's your ability to improvise, care for their kids, turn the TV on, do whatever you need to do, go the extra mile and extend yourself more. If you're there another hour, that's what it has to be. You know, I'm just trying to tell you what's worked for me so that you can evaluate these things on your own. You know, you're going to have your own experiences. And those are my own personal experiences. I taught a lady one time, very interested in the Bible study, but the TV was on every time I would go. And it was right there, right at the table where we sat. And it was like the most distracting thing ever. So I just moved my chair over in front of the TV. Just in an effort to try to get her to focus in. Because she would be listening and then distracted, and then listening and then distracted. You're gonna come across all kinds of stuff. It's just your willingness to, be flexible, is what's really going to help you. James chapter 1, verse number 19. You'll go there with me. James 1:19. James chapter 1 and verse number 19 reads like this. I'm sorry, I thought I went there too fast. People still turning here. So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear and slow to speak, slow to wrath. Listening was a real issue to me. Especially as a young man, I always thought I had something way smarter to tell you than what you had to tell me. And so I had a really bad habit of, while you were talking, I was thinking about what I was going to say next. And that's a bad, bad habit to be in. Because you don't care about what they're saying. And when you don't listen to people, things don't work. So it's extremely important to just be slow to speak and swift to hear. Just listen. As husbands, I'm as guilty as anyone. Sometimes my wife's talking and I'm listening, but I'm not hearing. And she said, I told you this, this, and this. I'm like, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. And, it's one of those conversations. And so I've made a huge effort to just be quiet and listen sometimes. And really show the person that I care about what they're saying. Not thinking about what I'm going to say next, or not trying to think about where I'm going to go with the Bible next, but just listen. Sometimes when you're at a Bible study, people just need counsel. Sometimes you don't even get to the message of the gospel because, I don't know if this is surprising, people have baggage. Worldly people have baggage. They've got kids out of wedlock, they've got broken marriages, unhappy spouses. It's just there, it's all there. It's just part of sin, it's part of the world. And if you're not willing to deal with that, you probably ought not be teaching the Bible study because it's going to be there and it's in everything. And so, I want to just encourage you to listen. And I want to encourage you to just be ready, be flexible in those things. And when you do that, let's go ahead and turn to 2 Timothy chapter 2. We need to hurry. 2 Timothy chapter 2. I'm going to read verses 24 through 26. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 24 through 26. It says, And a servant of the Lord must not quarrel, but be gentle to all, able to teach, patient, in humility, correcting those who are in opposition. If God perhaps will grant them repentance, so that they may know the truth, and that they may come to their senses and escape the snare of the devil, having been taken captive by him to do his will. People have a natural tendency to reject things that don't make them feel good. when you deliver a message from the gospel, if you've been sitting, you've been teaching someone week after week, eventually you get to the meat